Okay, the subject of this little mini lecture is adding vectors. So I want to talk about how that's done. First of all, let's go back to our scenario where you're lost in the woods. So here you are, lost in the woods. And let's say I tell you, give you information for getting to cabin 1. Let's say that's cabin 1 right there. I'll just say C1. And then I give you information for getting to cabin 2. Let's say cabin 2 is right there. And so basically I tell you what the displacement is to get from where you are to cabin 1. That would be this vector right there. And then I give you another displacement vector that tells you how to get from cabin 1 to cabin 2, and that would be this second one right here, like this. And so these two vectors we can say that I could have given you the information to get to cabin 2 by giving you this red vector I'm about to draw that goes from here to there, like that. And this vector right here is the addition of C1 and C2. And so here I'm going to introduce some notation. C1, I'll use a little subscript here, somewhat different from what I've written up there. And I'm going to draw a little arrow over the top. That means it's a vector suggested by this little arrow, plus C2, that's the second vector, is equal to this vector, which I'm going to call R. Like that. I'll put a vector over the top here, and I'll relabel this one as C1. So C1 is the vector that goes from here to cabin 1, in other words, and C2 is the vector that goes from cabin 1 to cabin 2. So the addition of two vectors is basically it's a tip to tail operation. And so the first vector here starts where you are and goes to cabin 1, and if you lay the second vector starting at C1 going to C2, this vector plus that vector is equal to this red vector right there. So that's the idea of vector addition, simply just putting the tips and the tails together and then drawing one final vector that goes from the beginning of the first vector to the end of the second vector. We're only adding two vectors together here, where you've tipped to tail the two vectors.